So, yeah, I had a week.
Yeah, what's up, man? What's up? Tell me what's up.
So, the this
You're
Saturday,
green now, by the way. Congrats.
yeah, I put on a little Christmas light behind me. So, there's the trees downstairs. So we're yo ho hoing. Um, Figured I'd put on the festive buttons
You celebrating Festivus?
for the rest of us.
The feats of strength!
Yeah, and I mean, look, Punch Mom doesn't stand a chance, but the night ain't over.
You don't know that, man.
The night ain't over till she makes a go for it. But she knows what happens when she messes with the warrior with these guns. See, you know what's happening over here? What's been building up this year? Absolutely nothing. That's what. Actually, no. So this weekend, rather unusual, but Reggie and I went out to the boonies. We went out to Vaudreuil, if you know where that is. That's way out where. Yeah, that's the right sound. Exactly. um, and there was we did commentary for a boxing event. There was a
Wait, boxing?
boxing,
Like human beings punching each other with their fists?
like the sweet science. Yeah. And we have some friends that, are working at a gym, and they decided to get into. Well, I mean, there's always been these live events and such, and they'd have, like, amateurs and amateur pro fights and stuff that would take place. And yeah, they started getting into, the like broadcast and stream game and stuff. So, we got asked to kind of step in there and just have some fun with it, do some color commentary. And yeah, we did, and it was a good time. It was a lot of fun, just again, you're looking at it like, this is way out where, but definitely some people coming from different gyms
So
around town that I
I would really like to
recognize.
point out to those of you who are hearing, based on my scoff and Wooly describing the boonies, Vaudreuil-Dorion is not actually that far. It's like a single 5-minute trip across the westernmost bridge of the island.
Okay, but when you're going
It's
that
like Jersey, man.
but
Like,
but it's so far from the core where, like, everyone lives in the center that you're riding over an hour out to get there. Like, it's pretty fucking far. It's just like the island is not. I mean, the island. There's a part of the island that is like the middle part that kind of matters the
I
most.
lived on the South Shore, farther away than fucking Doria. Like,
Yeah.
like
No.
people who commute from Brossard to the city.
You're
Like,
you're yes. The fucking Chateauguay Bridge was your life for a while, so you do recall that,
like, 'cause-
distance. But
wow, Valleyfield's closer on the map than it feels.
yeah, it was out there. And I mean, if you just go by like what you're surrounded by, it's fucking farms and highway. Like, that's the real, like, metric. Is, you can call it, say what you want about the distance, but just walk outside and do a 360. What's around you? And if the answer is fucking.
As soon as you leave every single major city, there's farms and highway.
That's it. Well, yeah. So but it was cool. Just got to watch a couple different levels, and definitely, like, puts that like nostalgic memory of, like, when I used to go multiple times a week and be like, ah, man, like just the skill levels that would, like, go from, like, the beginners at the beginning of the night. Like, a couple kids just went in there and were kind of like touching gloves and messing around, and then eventually, like, up and up to from the different weight classes to the super heavyweights that were just fucking going at it, and you're like, wow, like, it is an awesome gradient of skill across the night. Which, it's fun to see an event like that. It's fun to have events like that where, like, if there's multiple matches and such at different weight classes and at different divisions of skill, you can kind of see the evolution of, like, starting to be good, knowing what you're doing enough to get in the ring, all the way through, like, okay, you're dangerous, to, like, you're right about to go have professional fights, you know?
Did anybody in the boxing match get hit in the face so hard that their brain flew out of their head and landed on your table?
Not that hard, but there was the first stoppage. There was a match that like led to 2 standing 8 counts and a stoppage, which is pretty unusual, unless the like someone's getting completely fucking destroyed, and if you try to match people up so that they're approximately a good fight for each other. But yeah, it was there was definitely an 8-10 round that happened at one point, and they're like, all right, that's the first one they're calling. But you know, it was just a lot of fun to see and to do, and of course, like I think even without being able to like pull into a history of boxing and like, you know, pull from a lot of references and things like that, just calling it as it is from what you see, doing color commentary and play-by-play and you know, relying on the kind of type of commentary we've done in the past and shit. Like, yeah, you're capable of translating that skill into things like this and into other competitive sports. And you know, the friend in particular that like invited us out there was talking about how like there's absolutely, I mean, like, it's not just like fighting game analogies. There's a lot of things you can pull from to improve your boxing game and to get better at it. But like, I remember one of the coolest ones, and I think I talked about this on the podcast before, was George St. Pierre in UFC, like was discussing how like he had some guys on his team that figured out the tech where they started watching tape of their opponent's fight and they would slow it down frame by frame to see exactly how fast the opponent can punch and kick, and then like give that a rating for speed. And he's describing this tech and everything that they have and how they can qualify and put up a full file on how the fighters like different attacks are ranked and how quickly they return and such. And it's just like, you're describing frame data. You're using frame data in real life.
Frame data predates boxing. It predates fighting games. It's the first time I can remember hearing about frame data was like football.
And it was so wild because in this context, like someone took that concept and then just brought it to the game really late, and it was like, wow, look at this novel technology, which, you know, like surely someone that came from competitive gaming must have just been like, how do I take this 1-to-1 and bring it over here? And then
somebody
you know,
in the chat points out that horse races are probably the first point that you saw frame data. The only difference is that it had a frame of 1
finishing line, right?
The photo finish is frame data. It's just 1 frame.
Yeah. So it's pretty nuts how, like, you know, that stuff makes its way into real life. But yeah, no,
fighting games are real life too, Wooly. Don't sell them too short.
But it was super fun to just kind of try that out and see how it was. And yeah, and it's also like fun to kind of recognize a couple names and things from the gym that I went to and stuff, and see like, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, some of these people have like other fighters in their stable, and you know, like expanded outwards and did their own thing. Boxing's so fucking cool, man. God, there's just like when you're seeing someone that's just like really good at it, like in their element, there's just so much fine motor control in like every step, every rotation, the hips, like everything about it is like, there's all the shit you can observe, and then there's all the things you cannot observe, which are even more impressive, you know. At one point, just describing like how someone's got a lightning fast jab, like how's the opponent going to deal with it, you know. And it's like there's an element of that where if you're just, when you're first learning to like move and avoid and dodge and weave and get out of the way and shit, trying to look at someone's fist, trying to look at the glove is way too slow. Your eyes can't, you're not going to react to that.
There's so much,
right?
There's so much fun sports data on people's vision. My particular favorite is baseball fans breaking down the mathematics on a fastball and discovering that the human arm can't move fast enough to react to the ball once thrown. So everyone's swinging is actually swinging based off of the fucking pitcher's body orientation.
Exactly.
Because you can't see the ball.
Yes. When you're squared up with somebody, right? You're looking at their shoulder, and you're looking for the shoulder tense. You're looking for that moment of flexion right before the jab comes at you, because that's going to be the startup, the beginning of what you can recognize is going to happen there. You can also look at, like, and my friend was pointing out, like, you can also look at the waist as well to start to see the rotation. Of course, you can be susceptible to getting fainted, but
you can steal signs.
Or you can steal signs with electric fucking buzzers under your shirt. For sure.
Bro, if you want to get into sign stealing, you need to play Yakuza 5, in which that is like a pillar of that game's plot line, is the drama around baseball sign stealing.
Man. You just go far enough into the future, and it's like technology not being banned or things being in the gray zone, like fights in hockey and shit. It's like, so then what is it? Like, it always seems to just be like, does the ref call it or not, And then you get those moments where, like, the ref makes an objectively horrible call, but it is the ref's call to make, and that's how the game goes. I
mean, shit, hockey is still, to my knowledge, underneath the rule set of how much it's against the rules is whether or not the guy you hit suffered traumatic brain damage or died. That just happened.
Speaking of both, like, there was just a UFC fight where a really shitty ref, like, watched a guy get knocked unconscious and then continued and didn't stop the fight, and then the guy continued to hit him, and he woke back up and tried to defend himself, and then got knocked unconscious again. And, like, that's, like, potentially, like, that's absolutely life-changing, potentially career-ending, just because the ref doesn't know what they're doing, And
what if I have a crazy idea.
Here we go. All right.
What if?
Yep. It's been a minute since Death Sports. Let's go.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
I'm going to a slightly different old-fashioned.
You know how you call out my bit when I say your name?
I know.
Okay.
I know. Trust me.
All right.
I have a phrase that I use. You is more tone.
Mm-hmm.
What if I had a bunch of money?
You know what they should do is actually that's
No, this is not you know what they should do.
Oh, okay.
But what if I had a bunch of money and I spoke to the ref, and then I gave the ref a bunch of money so that the ref was my friend? And then my friend really likes me and gives me the benefit of the doubt when I punch that guy in the back of the head I'm not supposed to.
I see. Yeah. So technically the ref is supposed to be part of an association that is unbiased and verified. And then that's why, of course, multiple fighters that, like, whenever a deal goes bad and it's like, I will only fight you on my home turf in my home
and you're always like, that's ridiculous.
With my people.
Really. Not really, man.
With my complete specific arrangement so that I can stand right here. God.
Or what if instead of me giving him the money, Jimmy the Lip gave the ref a bunch of money so that he'd be Jimmy's friend?
Yeah. So, this like, I think embracing technology and embracing a camera to make a call that's better than a ref is the fairest thing to do as we go into the future, because this, the baseball shit is absurd and insane.
I have a question. It's tangentially related, but you or chat may know. But I remember there was a long-standing historical problem with soccer/footy, in that the refs on the field were God and abjectly refused the use of video technology for any calls under any reason. Did they ever change that?
I don't know.
That shit was crazy.
I don't think so, because I feel like we would have heard about it. I know that football, when I was growing up, it was similar, and then they eventually implemented the timeout rule where you could challenge the ref's call. So in the NFL, there was a point where you can spend a timeout to go, fuck you, you stupid dumbass, go check the replay on that, I know you're wrong. And if
I'm
you
in
were,
the opinion.
and if you are wrong, then you get your timeout back and they undo the call. Or if you are, or if the call out was, if the team was wrong to call it out and the ref was right, then you lose your timeout. You know?
I don't know how anyone, like, you know, obviously we're just diving back into making fun of Europeans and the world for watching soccer, but I don't know, like, I don't know how you can sit there and have your favorite player, like, obviously dive and, like, pretend to be a pussy and then see the ref isn't looking and then get right back up and not just turn the TV off and walk outside. It's so gross, man.
Yeah. And you know, like it's like the ref's word being the word of God is like, it's also coming from a thing where you go back and, you know, not even like in pretty much contemporary history, like within this century, and there's examples of like teams getting like killed and shit over the results of games and stuff. Like it's so fucking like nuts, in particular in some places where the sport is that dead serious, where it's like all the more reason why a human being should not be making this call. Get a fucking camera, get all that tech you have to you know, have an instant replay and use it to be precise about what's going on.
Hey man, you want to get really into it? You want to get real fucking into it? Let's talk about the Olympics judging every sport that has no objective criteria at all.
Sure.
Right? Russia judging this year, and coming in at top marks for the Russian judge is Russia.
The location,
what
the location selection is the most corrupt thing in the world to begin with. Why would the games themselves not be fucked? Of course. You know?
I don't understand
and
why
then,
people from the country that is performing in front of them are allowed to vote on them at all.
And then on the other side of the fallible ref discussion is, you want to talk about current news, right? So Draymond Green just got suspended indefinitely, a basketball player from the NBA, because like he had this like particularly egregious like turn around and knocked a guy down like hit. But you just look at the instant replay of like, look at the highlights of this dude's career, and it's just him dropping Galactica phantoms on people and making it look like a mistake. Like, like imagine a career of like waiting for the ref.
I fell down.
The ref's cone of vision is here, and the moment it goes this way, you drop a heat action on your opponent and then continue playing the game. Like there's one in particular where like a dude drops down and he does a Yamazaki stomp. Like he gets his foot up in the air like sumo height and bah, and then jumps off and goes like, whoa, what happened? You know, it's insanity. And like the whole thing is predicated on the ref going, oh, I don't know, looks like two guys fell over. Anyway, back to the game. Like straight up dropping fucking level 3 haymakers on people.
You know, I'll say one thing, and this is a compliment to soccer.
Trust the process.
I think at the end of the day, in a competitive sport, and I don't know what this says about my personal perspective, but I think I can respect a guy like Zidane, the soccer player, who tried to sneakily headbutt the piss out of that guy, knocked him right over under the ref's nose, more than the guy who pretends to be headbutted and falls over. Right?
We couldn't get robots on the field soon enough, man. Fucking hell.
I think we should, if we do have the robots. Wait, what do you mean by that?
Robot referees.
Oh, I thought you meant like robot boxers and football players.
No. What the fuck was in KOTOR? Was it Godo or Goto? Remember Goto?
Yeah, the floating orb, yeah.
I want that to be the referee.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I want a floating camera orb on the field that just is in for all sports is the thing that just is like beep and then
Like, I think that
shoots a red card at you.
I think if you have robot boxing, though, you should have the consequences of that boxing match applied to the pilots. So, like, at the end of the match, you look at the robots and you're like, all right, we're going to have to whip this guy's legs for like 20 minutes.
Okay, recreate the damage. I see. So it's not anime damage where it happens in real time.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
So that they're like, oh man, I really gotta tighten up.
Because I mean, like when my gunpla takes damage, I gotta be like over here on the side going,
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, no, I'm following.
You know what? No. I'm going back to what you're talking about. Just strap everybody to a fucking full body electric chair. Damn it, I'm doing it again.
I mean, I was waiting for the you know what they should do, but here we are. Anyways, it was fun to do commentary for boxing. That was a good time.